Hey guys, yesterday I stumbled across this amazing shave. Amazingly fast, but most importantly, an amazingly slick in the good kind of way in terms of the lather that I've ever gotten from it. Maybe even a chiseled face soap at all, in terms of the original formula here, the tallow formula that they have and have had for several years. Let's look at the gear here. Same as always for, in general, for Austere August. Timeless open comb, 68, stainless steel. Taj handled, Semogue Owners Club bore brush. Maybe 80 uses by now. Maybe just approaching 80. The cologne and the soap are Chiseled Face Midnight Stag. Using that all month and loving it. And then we had to switch to the feather because the acid I was using got left at another house. So the feather looks like we're at 60. This will be use number 67 because the dots don't lie. But sometimes they do because I forget to put a dot at the end of the shave. But what is accurate is the description in the video, the title there that has the parentheses around the number after the blade. All right, so what we did last time, I was just needing to get a shave done quickly. And for years now, I have had this idea as I have been loading up my soap and my normal methods with my slightly wet brush. And then, you've got, sometimes you got a little bit of overflow. And it's a very wet kind of overflow. It's sudsy. It's got big bubbles-ish, but it's really wet and it feels really good. And now it's not a lot of soap concentration in there. But I wondered, what if I loaded normally? In the past, I've wondered this. What if I loaded normally and then all that overflow, that's what I collected and then used to shave and ignored what was on the brush, just for fun. And that's been swimming around in my head. And so yesterday when I just chose to do a quick face lather, probably just 2 passes, just put it on my face, work it up. I don't like face lathering to bring the lather to where I really like it because it gets really wet and falls off. Very frustrating. A lot of kind of work on the face. I'd rather work in the bowl. And now, don't get me wrong, I still enjoy the feel of the brush on my face for several minutes as I'm shaving, but I'd rather do most of the heavy-duty mixing work in the bowl. That's me. I decided not to even work it up on my face. The thing where you kind of get a concentrated brush. It needs a bunch of water, so you start it working on your face, and then you dribble water in it, or you dip it in water, and then you keep improving the lather as you go. 30 seconds, 45, 60 seconds into me starting to put it on my face, I said, let's just try this. And it worked great. It worked better than anything I've ever done with this guy, bringing it up with water, even if I left it slightly dry to try to get some kind of creaminess. Taking it super wet. If I take it to where it's wet the way I like it, visually, and in terms of the weight of the lather and all that, then it's just kind of skippy. I think it's almost to the point of breaking at that point. It just does not hold that much water. So let's see if yesterday's shave is reproducible. All right. I'm not saying I'm going to do this all the time because it's a short shave. I enjoy my shave time almost always. Let's do a 5-second load. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So there we go. And a lot of water was coming off of my brush. Maybe I should have shaken more off. I didn't even wet my face prior to this. Well, in an ultra fast shave, maybe you don't have time. Maybe you forgot to wet your face. So right now, we've got a lot of hydration in the brush. So maybe that'll wet my face for me well enough. I'm starting very lightly because I don't want to dump the water immediately out onto my shirt if I were to go kind of full splay. This method also does not give you a lot of brush experience, a lot of feel of the brush on your face. Matter of fact, I don't think I even went that far last time, but let's just go ahead and stop. I forgot to load up my razor. There's the feather. Just a little bit of trivia. Sometimes the maker will put marks on the blade. There's two notches or two painted lines on this corner, one painted line over here. In case you want to use that for tracking, if you want to shave only on one side at first and then switch and shave on the other side the next day, then that's there for you. But I mean, it's a double-sided razor, and so it doesn't matter which way you put it in. I just always put mine in randomly, and I trust that the randomness will give me a nice even wear. And I've been happy with that over the years. And then as I shave, I'm alternating. As you can see, I'm working one side. When it kind of gets full, I rinse it off, turn the razor, and work on the other side. And so that way during the shave, we're looking at a nice balanced wear on each side. And there we go. Now here's the proof in the pudding. Let's see how it feels during the rinse or partial rinse. Yeah, see, that's just terrific. That's that fast kind of slick that real soaps have. And man, how about that? If I work the soap for longer, then I do get a puffier light a soap, a lather that builds up, you know, and has some structure to it. But you can clearly see that we're dealing with a lot of hydration with this method. I mean, it's still kind of dripping. Somehow, I'm going to have to ask some of the old veterans. And that's pass number 2. A little bit of a rinse. In a way, we could stop calling it a rinse, because after all, I don't really want to remove everything on my face. I just want to freshen up my face by adding water so that we don't have a pastiness in the lather. And when I have gone a little drier in my recipe, in my procedures, you know, to try to find a creaminess, then I get a little bit of kind of skin lubrication, but it's a thick kind of slow, oily kind of lubrication. I don't really like it, and I think it leads to slowing down my razor and maybe even giving me a little bit of irritation, or tenderness at least. Well, this feather is just continuing to do great in this razor, and that, my friends, is all. And and the slickness I feel right now, it's just better. The residual, it's better than what I have gotten before. So maybe if I'm using this base from Chiseled Face, and maybe even others like it that are kind of coconut oil focused, I'm definitely not going to hesitate to try this type of method. After Austere August, I'm going to have to try this method with a badger brush and see if it works the same way. Do you know a soap that I'm really interested in trying this method on is Williams. I got a feeling that may be how guys have been shaving with Williams for decades. That quick, not taking the time to work it up into something different or to mature it. I don't know. I have to come up with a name of this method. Young, quick, and fast. That's a bit redundant, but young might be a good word. An immature lather that's just not built up. It's maybe maybe to some degree the soap is only partially connected with the water, and then there's some water. It's got plenty of hydration to provide and a little bit extra soap. I don't know what's going on chemically speaking, but wow, yeah, I'll have to try that with Williams and see how that works. Definitely makes for a quick shave if you if you have an expensive brush or two that you really want to enjoy on your face, then this is not the method for you. Let's do the City Slicker Splash. No irritation. Nice close cut. A few twinges now of sting, and they're gone. Very nice. Very nice. It's a good scent to me. And I pretty much closed down my station here, so I can go right to the Cologne EDP here. Midnight Stag. Continuing on with that, and I'm going to take a moment right here to put my Sharpie dot on the feather. We don't lose track of that. Fitting all these little dots in there. All right. 67 uses in the bank. Right? Is that what it is? Yeah, 67 is on there now. And yeah, I'm going to take the Nasset to... I'll take the Nasset to a little while after Austere August. I don't know if I'll go all the way to 500 straight. Maybe what I could do is get to 475 or 470 or 480 and then alternate weeks. I can do a week of Nasset, a week of this feather, week of Nasset, that kind of thing, and take both of them to new areas where I haven't been before. I've never taken a feather to 100. Sure looks like this blade is just not going to have a problem making it, this feather. And then the Nasset doesn't seem to be quitting anytime soon, so I think it'll make it to 500, and that'll be neat to try to kind of work those guys together to make that happen. All right. The smells are all wonderful. I've also got the waft of spaghetti coming in from the microwave. So that's what I'm going to go do now. And all the best to you guys. I can't think of too much else to cover here. Good shave. I'm glad I was able to reproduce that slickness that I got yesterday. Like I said, I prefer a creamy lather that has a lot of water in it. Some soaps can make that happen and some can't. A really good vegan soap can do it, but a lot of average vegan soaps can't, whereas a lot of average tallow soaps can do it. The Chiseled Face, along with older ones like the Strop Shop and the old Captain's Choice, or the Captain's Choice from a few years ago. The even the Black Ship Grooming from a little while ago, and that kind of era was super popular, and LA Shaving Soap Company, that's another one, and they are like they're all similar in that, like I said before, while I pile enough water that I like, all the water that I want to have in there for the weight of the lather, for the slickness that I want, then I don't have a creaminess that I want, and sometimes they even start to lose slickness, and so I have to back off from the amount of water that I might like to put in them. And other soaps like Stirling and Barrister and Man, 345. There's that Hub City. The Seaforth is terrific. The one from he brought it back. We brought the Seaforth brand back, and Spearhead is doing the Seaforth now. And there are a bunch of new guys. Storybook Soapwork is just terrific, as well as all the legends like Declaration Grooming, Barrister and Man, Noble Otter, all those guys. Summer Break, if I mentioned them, those of course are tremendous. And I can push water into them all day long, and they hold on to that creaminess really nicely, and it's wonderful. And so that's and I don't like that kind of slickness. That's a buttery, slow kind of slickness that you feel like, oh, my face is really hydrated, sure, but when I try to move a razor across it, it's a little slower than usual. Soaps like Tobacco or Fine Accoutrements Classic, good soaps like that are especially good at that quick kind of slickness. That, boy, this is soap and water and a lather, and it's not trying to be anything fancy, and it just works. The smoothness there with the movement of the razor, the quickness, I enjoy that. That's the kind of slickness that I chase when I'm trying to construct a lather, and so that I could get that out of this soap, I'm just really happy about that. I don't like the fact that it's so quick, but it is what it is. Maybe we'll keep trying to vary things. I don't know. We'll see what we can do about that. Take care now. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Good night.